Did someone's maid bring her kid to work? Get this little rat out of my event. Christopher Hayes pointed at the 12-year-old girl, gold Rolex gleaming on his wrist. Bailey's voice trembled. Sir, I'm Bailey Grant. I own this comp. You own nothing. He grabbed her folder, threw it on the floor. Papers scattered everywhere. You people always think you can walk into our world and take what's ours. He pulled out a $100 bill, crumpled it, tossed it at her feet. There's your welfare check, sweetheart. Now pick it up like a good girl and get out. Bailey knelt down, gathering her papers with shaking hands. Tears streamed down her face. That's right, on your knees where you belong. The crowd pulled out their phones. 7:30 in the morning, 6 months before the gala. Bailey Grant woke up in her bedroom. Sunlight streamed through tall windows. The Grant estate spread out below, 30 acres of lawn and old trees. She reached for the photo on her nightstand. Her parents smiled back. Disneyland. Bailey was 11 then. Dad's arm around Mom. Everyone was laughing. 4 days before the plane crashed. Bailey got dressed. Navy uniform. White socks. Her room felt wrong now. Stuffed animals on one shelf. Legal documents stacked on her desk. Downstairs, the kitchen echoed. 20th ceilings. Marble counters where Mom used to drink coffee. Bailey poured cereal. Margaret Williams came through the side door. 55. Black woman with kind eyes and gray hair pulled back tight. Professional blazer. Morning, baby. Sleep okay? Bailey shrugged. Dreams. The plane again. Margaret sat down. Warm hand on Bailey's shoulder. That's normal, sweetheart. Grief doesn't follow rules. Margaret had been her parents' friend for 15 years, corporate attorney. Now she lived in the guest house, watched over Bailey constantly. The doorbell rang at 8:15. Thomas Anderson arrived with his briefcase. 60 years old, black man in expensive gray suit. Silver hair perfect. The Grant family attorney since Bailey was born. They sat at the kitchen table. Bailey between two adults. Mr. Anderson opened his briefcase, pulled out documents. 87% of Grant Industries, $4.03 billion. And the rest? The board members split 13%. Who runs the company daily? The board. Until I'm 18. But I have final say on big decisions. What kind? Anything over 10 million. Hiring, firing, selling. Mr. Anderson pulled out another paper. Bailey, there's something you need to know. Her stomach dropped. The board appointed a new CEO 5 months ago. Christopher Hayes. I never met him. He never visited after your parents died. He sent flowers, though. Yes, flowers. Mr. Anderson's jaw tightened. Your father was planning to fire him. The room went cold. What? Margaret sat forward. I found Richard's private notes last week. Financial irregularities. Money moving strangely. He was building a case. Then he died. Margaret finished. The board, it didn't know. They made Hayes CEO because he was already CFO. Bailey's voice came out tiny. Is he stealing? I'm investigating. But Bailey, you can fire him any time. Me? You own 87%. You have final authority. Does he know that? No. He thinks the board controls everything. Thinks he's safe for 6 years. So he doesn't know I could fire him today. He has no idea. Margaret leaned in. There's a gala tonight, your parents' annual charity event. Bailey's throat closed. I can't. You don't have to. But they never missed it. They loved it. They raised millions for orphan children. Orphaned like Bailey. She looked at her parents' photo again. Mom smiled. Dad's proud eyes. I want to go. Mr. Anderson nodded. We'll introduce you to the board officially. Will Mr. Hayes be there? Yes. Will he be nice? The adults looked at each other. Margaret pulled Bailey close. Sweetheart, some people won't be nice because you're young, or because you're young, or because you're black. What do I do? Mr. Tears blurred her vision. I am the owner. My parents. Your parents what? Left you billions? Christopher's voice dripped with mockery. Sure they did, princess. And I'm the king of England. His friends laughed louder. One pulled out his phone, started live streaming. You guys had to see this. Some kid trying to crash the Grant Industries gala. The stream loaded. Comments started rolling in immediately. Christopher saw the camera, smiled wider, played to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you let standards slip. He gestured at Bailey like a presenter on a game show. This child walks into our event, claims to own a $5 billion company, expects us to just believe her. Bailey gathered her papers. Christopher saw them, bent down, snatched the death certificates from her hands. Oh, this is precious. She printed fake documents. He held them up to the light. Probably made at Kinko's. Those are real, Bailey whispered. My parents died 6 months ago. That's their parents. Christopher's voice went high, mocking. Honey, Richard and Catherine Grant were successful people. Educated, power. You really think their daughter would be crawling on the floor like a dog? He crumpled the death certificates, threw them back at her. Bailey caught them, smoothed them out carefully. More people gathered. The crowd grew to 40, 50. Phones everywhere. The live stream hit 5,000 viewers. Comments exploded. Christopher saw the view count, smiled bigger. Amanda stepped closer to Bailey, towered over her. Sweetie, where did you really get these papers? Did someone put you up to this? Bailey looked up at her. No, ma'am. These are mine. My lawyer has the originals, Mr. Anderson. Christopher barked a laugh. Thomas Anderson, the estate attorney? Yes, sir. Where is he then? If you're really Bailey Grant, where's your famous lawyer? Bailey turned, looked for Mr. Anderson. He stood 50 feet away, still holding Margaret back, watching, waiting. He's right there. Bailey pointed. Christopher looked, saw an old black man in a suit, dismissed him immediately. That guy? Honey, Thomas Anderson wears $5,000 suits. That's probably someone's driver. The crowd laughed again. Bailey's voice broke. That is Mr. Anderson. He's been my family's lawyer since I was born. Sure he has. Christopher finished his scotch, handed the empty glass to Bailey. Here, make yourself useful. Take this to the bar. Bailey stared at the glass. Didn't take it. Christopher's smile vanished. I said take it. No. The word came out small but firm. Christopher's face darkened. What did you say to me? I said no. Bailey stood up, papers clutched to her chest. I'm not your servant. You're not anything. Christopher stepped closer, used his height to intimidate. You're a lying little thief who crashed my event. Security. Two security guards appeared. The lead guard was named Eric. He looked uncomfortable. Mr. Hayes, remove this child. She's trespassing. Eric looked at Bailey, saw the tears, the scattered papers, the crumpled money on the floor. Sir, maybe we should. For your opinion? Get her out now. Eric moved forward slowly. Miss, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Bailey backed up. I have a right to be here. This is my family's company. Miss, please don't make this difficult. The second guard moved to Bailey's other side, flanking her. Bailey felt trapped. She looked at Margaret, eyes pleading. Margaret's face was stone, but her hands clenched into fists. Mr. Anderson put a hand on Margaret's shoulder, squeezed, still waiting. Sir, Eric said to Christopher, she's just a child. Maybe we could call someone. Check her story. Her story is a lie. Christopher's voice boomed through the lobby. And I'm done entertaining this circus. Remove her or you're both fired. Eric's face went pale. He had kids. Needed this job. He reached for Bailey's arm. Miss, please come with me. Bailey jerked away. Don't touch me. Her voice went high. Panicked. The live stream hit 15,000 viewers. Christopher saw the numbers. Time to end this. He pulled out his phone, dialed. Yes, this is Christopher Hayes, CEO of Grant Industries. I'm at the Grand Meridian Hotel. We have a trespasser. A child? Approximately 12 years old. Black female. Claims to own my company. Clearly disturbed. He paused. Listened. Thank you. Police are coming, sweetheart. Hope you enjoyed juvenile detention. Bailey's legs went weak. She sat down hard on the marble floor, papers scattered again. She didn't pick them up this time, just sat there, crying. Christopher stood over her, victory in his eyes. That's what I thought. All bark, no bite. Across the lobby, Mr. Anderson checked his watch. 7:15 p.m., perfect timing. He let go of Margaret's shoulder. Now, he said quietly. Margaret cut through the crowd like a blade. People stumbled aside. Her face was fury. She reached Bailey in seconds, dropped to her knees, pulled the girl into her arms. Baby, I'm here. Bailey sobbed into her shoulder, her body shaking. Christopher looked down, annoyed. Margaret's head snapped up, eyes blazed. I'm her legal guardian, Margaret Williams, attorney at law. An attorney? Christopher laughed. Strip mall office. Harvard Law, 1995. Corporate litigation. You just assaulted my client. I didn't touch her. You threw documents at a minor. Verbal abuse, hostile environment, 50 witnesses, and 20,000 live stream viewers. Christopher's smile cracked. 20,000. He glanced at the phone. Numbers climbing. 25,000, 30,000, 40,000. Comments exploding. Christopher cleared his throat. I was protecting my company from fraud. Fraud? Margaret stood. You want to discuss fraud, Mr. Hayes? I'm holding evidence of your embezzlement. Christopher's face went white. Crowd silenced. Amanda grabbed his arm. Christopher, what is she talking about? Nothing. Am I? Margaret pulled out her phone. Offshore account Cayman Islands. Open March 15th, 5 days after Richard and Catherine Grant died. Initial deposit $2 million from Grant Industries. Christopher's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Margaret continued. Shell Company, Delaware. Hayes Consulting, LLC. $12 million in contracts. Services never rendered. Payments approved by you. That's confidential. Stolen from an orphan. Margaret's voice cut glass. From a 12-year-old whose parents weren't buried yet. Crowd gasped. Phones everywhere. Live stream hit 60,000. Christopher backed up. You can't prove that? I'm an attorney. I don't make unprovable claims. Oh, but Mr. Anderson stepped forward, moving through the crowd beside Margaret now. Hello, Christopher. Christopher's face grayed. Thomas. 5 months since the board meeting where you became CEO. I earned that position. Did you? Anderson opened his briefcase. Thick folder. Richard Grant's notes say differently. Richard's dead. Conveniently. Cold voice. He was investigating you. Financial irregularities. FBI meeting scheduled the week after he died. Lobby turned ice cold. Christopher looked around. 80 people staring. Career collapsing live. Slander. I'll sue. Margaret smiled without warmth. Discovery will be fascinating. Every account. Every transaction. Every email. Amanda pulled away. Stepped back. He stole from a dead man's child. It's not. Then explain. Anderson moved closer. 15 million shell companies forged contracts. Christopher's breathing accelerated. Sweat beaded. The company needed. Richard would have approved. Richard was firing you. Anderson showed handwritten notes. His writing. Hayes embezzling. Call the FBI. Protect Bailey. Bailey looked up. Saw her father's handwriting. Fresh tears. Christopher saw the note, recognized it. Legs wobbled. Could be fake. Authenticated by 3 experts. The FBI has copies. The FBI echoed through the lobby. People backed away. Amanda addressed the crowd. I had no idea. We're separated. We are not. Christopher grabbed her. She slapped his hand. Don't touch me. I want a lawyer. You're my wife. Not for long. She pushed through. Heels clicking. Gone. Christopher stood alone. 90 people watching. Security guard Eric stepped forward. Mr. Hayes. Still want me to remove the child?
Yes.
No, I mean police are coming. You called them. Christopher went green, called police on himself. Anderson smiled. Ironic. Bailey stood. Margaret helped, face puffy, but voice clear. Mr. Anderson, what are my rights as majority shareholder? Voice carried through silence. Anderson turned, spoke loud. As owner of 87%, you have ultimate authority. Can I fire the CEO? Anyone, anytime, any reason. What if he signed contracts? Void them. Review. Renegotiate. What if he stole? Press charges. Suit. Demand restitution plus interest. Bailey looked at Christopher. 12 facing 48. I want him arrested. Christopher laughed desperate. You're a child. No. Bailey's voice strengthened. But the police you called can. Doors open. 2 NYPD officers entered. Officer Martinez led. Partner Johnson, 30, black, sharp. Who called about a trespasser? Christopher's hand rose, froze halfway. Everyone stared. Martinez walked over. You called. Yes. Misunderstanding. What kind? Margaret stepped forward. Officers, Margaret Williams, attorney. This man assaulted my client, 12 years old. Verbal abuse, through documents, severe distress. Martinez looked at Bailey, tears, red eyes, paper scattered. True? Bailey nodded. Martinez turned to Christopher, face hardened. ID, please. Christopher Hayes, CEO of Grant Industries. Terrible mistake. ID now. Christopher fumbled, hands shaking. License out. Martinez examined, handed to Johnson. Run him. Why? I'm the victim. You called about a child. She's crying on the floor. You're sweating. Doesn't add up. Johnson radioed. Quiet. Anderson handed Martinez his card. Officer Thomas Anderson is state attorney for the Grant. I'll explain, please. This is Bailey Grant, sole heir, owns 87% of Grant Industries, worth $4.3 billion. Martinez's eyebrows rose, looked at Bailey, back at Anderson. This girl owns billions? Yes. Proof. Anderson handed documents, certificates, court papers, death certificates, notarized. Martinez read, skeptical to shocked to angry, looked at Christopher. You called the police on a child who owns your company? I didn't know, didn't ask, just assumed. Johnson returned. Ma'am, federal investigation hit. Financial crimes. He's flagged. Martinez nodded. Mr. Hayes, come with us. Questions about embezzlement fraud. The FBI called 30 minutes ago. Christopher's knees buckled, grabbed column. Insane. I have rights. Yes. Reading them now. Martinez pulled handcuffs. Arresting me. Detaining for questioning. Turn around. I will not. Turn or I add resistance. Christopher looked around. Crowd, phones, cameras, no help. He turned. Martinez cuffed him. Metal clicked loud. Christopher Hayes detained for questioning regarding embezzlement, fraud, and financial crimes. Right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. Christopher cried. Please, family employees, one mistake, several mistakes. Martinez walked him to the door. Christopher looked back. Sorry, I didn't know. If I'd known. Bailey's voice cut through. You'd be nice because I'm rich. Christopher stopped. What if I was nobody? Maid's kid. Would I deserve that? No, Aunt. You're not sorry for what you did. Sorry you got caught. Martinez pushed forward. Let's go. The crowd parted. Christopher walked. 30 minutes. Life destroyed. Doors closed. Lobby erupted. Everyone talking. Live stream hit 150,000. Bailey sat on the floor. Not crying. Exhausted. Margaret sat beside her, arm around shoulders. You did good. Don't feel good. I know, but you stood up. That's courage. Anderson knelt. Bailey, we need an announcement. Introduce you properly. Everyone's here. Cameras rolled. Bailey looked at hundreds of eyes. So tired, but parents would want this. She stood. Margaret and Anderson flanked her. Someone brought a microphone. The microphone felt heavy in her small hands. Dr. Patricia Morrison approached. 62, white woman, board chairperson. She'd been standing in the back, watching everything. Now, she walked forward, heels clicking on marble. Bailey. Her voice was soft. Is that really you? Bailey nodded. Yes, Dr. Morrison. Oh, my God. Patricia's composure cracked. Oh, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. She knelt down. I leveled with Bailey. Bailey saw tears in the older woman's eyes. It's okay. It's not okay. Patricia stood, turned to the crowd. Her voice boomed. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your complete attention? The lobby quieted instantly. 200 people all watching. I am Dr. Patricia Morrison, chairperson of the Grant Industries Board of Directors. She put her hand on Bailey's shoulder. This is Miss Bailey Grant, daughter of our beloved founders, Richard and Catherine Grant. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Following their tragic death 6 months ago, Bailey inherited 87% of Grant Industries, making her the majority stakeholder and ultimate authority of this company. Gasps, whispers. She is 12 years old. She is brilliant. She is brave. And tonight she was humiliated by a man we trusted. Patricia's voice hardened. Christopher Hayes is no longer CEO of Grant Industries, effective immediately. He has been terminated for cause. Financial crimes, embezzlement, abuse of authority. The crowd erupted. Questions shouted. Cameras flashing. Patricia raised her hand. Silence returned free. The board will conduct a full investigation. We will recover every stolen dollar. We will rebuild trust, and we will ensure this never happens again. She looked down at Bailey. Miss Grant, would you like to say anything? Bailey looked at the microphone, at the faces, at the cameras. Her voice came out small at first, then stronger. My parents loved this company. They built it with honesty and hard work. She paused, swallowed. Mr. Hayes forgot that. He thought he could steal from me because I'm young, because I'm black, because I'm powerless. Her voice was steady now. He was wrong. The crowd was silent, hanging on every word. I'm not powerless, and neither is anyone else who looks like me. Who's young like me, who's been treated like they don't matter. Bailey looked directly at the nearest camera. We all matter. We all deserve respect, and we all have the right to fight back. The lobby exploded in applause, thunderous, genuine. People were crying, clapping, cheering. Bailey handed the microphone back, suddenly shy. Margaret pulled her close. Perfect, baby. Just perfect. Anderson smiled. Your parents would be incredibly proud. The live stream hit 200,000 viewers. Comments flooded. News reporters rushed forward, questions flying. Anderson stepped forward, shielding Bailey. Miss Grant will not be taking questions tonight. She's been through enough. Patricia Morrison added, the board will release an official statement tomorrow. For now, please respect this child's privacy. Security guards formed a protective circle, gently moving reporters back. Margaret led Bailey toward the elevators. Anderson, on the other side. As they walked, people reached out, touched Bailey's shoulder, whispered support. You're brave. Thank you. You inspire me. Bailey managed small smiles, but she was fading fast. The elevator doors closed. Finally, quiet. Bailey collapsed against the wall, legs shaking. Can we go home now? Yes, baby. We're going home. The elevator descended away from cameras, away from crowds, away from Christopher Hayes and his cruelty. But the video was already spreading, viral, unstoppable. By morning, the whole world would know Bailey Grant's name. Morning came too early. Bailey woke to sunlight streaming through her windows. For 3 seconds, she forgot everything. Then, the memory crashed back. She grabbed her phone, 47 missed calls, 200 texts. Social media exploded. She opened Twitter, hands shaking. Trending worldwide. Number 1, Bailey Grant. The video had 20 million views. Bailey threw the phone. Knock on her door. Are you awake? Margaret entered. Breakfast tray, pancakes, orange juice. You need to eat. I need this to stop. Margaret sat on the bed. It won't stop. Not for a while. You're famous now. The doorbell rang downstairs again. Margaret walked to the window, pulled the curtain, and... Oh no. What? News vans. 20 of them at the gate. Bailey looked down. Reporters everywhere. Cameras, satellite trucks. Another knock. Mr. Anderson entered, exhausted. Have you seen the news? He turned on Bailey's TV. Bailey's face filled the screen. The anchor spoke. The business world is reeling after shocking footage of Christopher Hayes verbally assaulting Grant Industries' 12-year-old owner. Lobby video played. Christopher throwing papers. Bailey crying. Hayes was arrested on embezzlement, fraud, and financial crimes charges. FBI confirms investigation into $15 million allegedly stolen. Christopher in handcuffs. He looked broken, but the real story is Bailey Grant. Her speech played. We all deserve respect. We all have the right to fight back. Anderson muted it. Every channel. Press conference this afternoon. Grant Industries. Brief statement. I have to talk again? Yes, on your terms. Margaret intervened. She's exhausted. Every hour we wait, rumors spread. He showed the tablet. Headlines. Child CEO publicity stunt. Did parents fake death? Grant family secrets. Bailey's stomach turned. Lee's, which is why we go today. Bailey stood. She walked to her closet. What should I wear? Anderson smiled. Professional but age-appropriate. 2 hours later, the limousine headed to Manhattan. Bailey wore a navy blazer. White shirt, gray skin. The car approached the building. 40 stories, glass and steel. Her parents built this. Now hers. Street chaos. Reporters, cameras, shouting. Bailey, how do you feel? Security formed a wall, pushed through. She kept her head high, didn't look at cameras, just walked forward, confident, dignified, powerful. Inside, employees lined the halls, hundreds applauding. For showing we matter. Eyes wet. 20 years cleaning offices. Invisible. You made us visible. Bailey hugged her. The woman hugged back. Cameras captured it. Anderson led Bailey to the elevator. Executive floor. Conference room. Press inside. 50 journalists. Cameras everywhere. Bailey took a breath. Ready? Margaret asked. No, but let's go. They walked in. Cameras flashed. Questions shouted. Anderson raised his hand. Silence. Miss Bailey Grant will make a brief statement. No questions. Bailey stepped to the podium. A box waited so she could reach the microphone. She looked at cameras, at reporters, at the world. Her voice came out clear. My name is Bailey Grant. I'm 12 years old. Yesterday, a man tried to destroy me because of how I look and how old I am. She paused. He failed, and he'll pay for what he did. But I'm not here for revenge. I'm here to say this. Grant Industries will continue. We will be stronger, more honest, more fair. Her voice strengthened. My parents built this company on integrity. I will honor that. Every decision I make will reflect their values. To every child watching, your voice matters. Your truth matters. Don't let anyone silence you. She stepped back. The room erupted, questions shouted, cameras flashing. But Bailey was done talking. She walked out, head high. Margaret and Anderson flanked her. 3 days later, the FBI raided Christopher Hayes' home. 6:00 a.m. agents and windbreakers, search warrants, boxes carried out. Christopher stood on his lawn in pajamas, handcuffed, face, pale. Amanda watched from her lawyer's car down the street. She'd moved out 2 days ago, filed for divorce that afternoon. The raid lasted 6 hours. Agents found everything. Offshore bank statements, forged contracts, emails detailing embezzlement. That evening, the FBI held a press conference. Special Agent Rachel Morrison spoke. Today, we executed search warrants on Christopher Hayes' residence and offices. We recovered substantial evidence of financial crimes. She paused. Mr. Hayes is charged with 23 counts of embezzlement, wire fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy. Total theft. $18. Sakai, $7 million. If convicted, he faces 40 years in federal prison. At the Grant estate, Bailey watched on TV. Margaret sat beside her. How do you feel? I don't know. Sad, angry, relieved, all of those. That's normal. Bailey's phone buzzed. Text from Mr. Anderson. Trial date set. 6 months. You'll testify. Her stomach dropped. Court. Margaret read over her shoulder. We'll be with you. Next week, Grant Industries held an emergency board meeting. 12 members. Bailey sat at the head, her father's seat tiny in the massive chair, voice strong. 3 board members resigned. We need replacements. Dr. Patricia Morrison nodded. We have recommendations. I have requirements. Bailey interrupted. Silence. Bailey pulled out paper, handwriting. 50% women, 30% people of color. No one over 70. Gerald Thompson spoke. Older white man. Christopher's friend. Miss Grant, those requirements are very specific. Yes. Bailey looked at him. Mr. Thompson, you're resigning today. His face reddened. Excuse me. You knew Christopher for 30 years. You ignored warnings. You failed me. I didn't know. You didn't want to know. Worse, Gerald stood. You can't fire. I own 87%. 10 minutes to clear your office. Gerald looked around. No support. He grabbed his briefcase, stormed out. Bailey turned to the remaining board. Anyone else? Silence. Good. My new appointments. She slid papers across. 3 names. Dr. Susan Thompson, child psychologist. James Harrison, former FBI investigator. Linda Martinez, tech CEO. Patricia reviewed them. Excellent choices. I researched for 3 days. The board voted unanimous. That week, Bailey announced the Richard and Catherine Grant Foundation. $50 million. Mission. Support orphan children. Legal help, financial education, counseling. Press conference at headquarters. Bailey at the podium. My parents died 6 months ago. I became an orphan with billions. I'm lucky. Most orphans have nothing. Pause. This foundation will protect them. Every child who loses parents will have legal help, financial advisors, counselors. No child should face what I faced. Foundation launched. Applications flooded. Bailey read every application, cried over many, approved funding for 500 children in the first month. Meanwhile, the trial date approached. Christopher's lawyers tried everything. Delays, motions, plea bargain. Prosecution refused. Going to trial, public, cameras allowed. Bailey's therapy increased to 3 times weekly. Dr. Thompson helped prepare. Defense will try to make you look unreliable. Too young. I'm not confused. Stay calm. Tell the truth. Look at the jury, not Christopher. What if I cry? Then cry. You're 12. You're allowed. The trial began on a Monday in March, 6 months after the gala. The courthouse was packed. Media everywhere. Bailey wore a navy dress. Simple. She walked in, saw Christopher. He looked terrible. Thin gray, prison jumpsuit, shackles. He glanced at her, looked away, ashamed. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Prosecutors presented evidence, financial records, emails, testimony. Christopher's defense was weak. Claimed borrowing money, accounting errors. Nobody believed him. Then Bailey testified. She walked to the witness stand, hand on Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth? I do. The prosecutor approached. Rachel Torres. Kind eyes. Bailey, tell the jury what happened. Bailey looked at the jury. 12 faces. I went to honor my parents. They never missed the gala. Voice steady. Mr. Hayes saw me. He assumed I was nobody. A maid's daughter. She described everything. Insults, money thrown, papers scattered. He made me beg for my mother's ring. The last thing she gave me. Several jurors cried. Defense cross-examined. You never identified yourself. I tried. He didn't listen. I was 12, scared, grieving. He was 48, throwing money at me. The defense had no response. Bailey was dismissed. Perfect. Closing arguments. Prosecutor Torres addressed the jury. Christopher Hayes stole from an orphan child. He humiliated her. No remorse until caught. She pointed at him. He represents unchecked privilege, believing some people matter and others don't. Voice rose. Bailey Grant proved him wrong. She stood up, spoke out, refused silence. Turned to jury. Delivered justice. No one is above the law. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Verdict. Count 1, embezzlement, guilty. Count 2, wire fraud, guilty. Count 3, money laundering, guilty. All 23 counts, guilty. Christopher collapsed, crying. Sentencing, 2 weeks later. Bailey attended. Judge Honor, Maria Rodriguez, 60. Latina, stern. Mr. Hayes, you stole $18.7 million from an orphan child. Christopher stood, shaking. You abused your position. Betrayed trust. No remorse. She looked at notes. Prosecution recommends 25 years. Defense requests 5. I's hard. I sentence you to 30 years federal prison. No parole for 20. 30 years. He'd be 78. Life over. Bailey felt no joy, just closure. Outside, reporters swarmed. Bailey, how do you feel? She stepped to microphones. Justice was done. Mr. Hayes will pay. What's next? Back to school. Back to being 12. Back to my life. Small smile. But I'll never forget. And I'll never stop fighting for kids who can't fight for themselves. She walked away, head high. 1 year later, Bailey Grant stood in her